I want to talk about work. Consider the implications of our ordinary terminology, in which we call a thing a work of art. That's because it has work bound into it. Labor makes it. It doesn't spring into being like Athena from the head of Zeus. Any art requires the diligent application of attention and effort. Nobody's been able to cut out the labor, although in some instances artists can have others do the physical part for them. Even the conceptualists, who claimed that the thinking, not the making, was the essence of art, still had to do that thinking and had to render it in some perceptible form, at least putting it down on paper in words. No one got away with claiming that thinking alone was significant without sharing the thought in some form. Even now, in our vaunted virtual age, somebody has to spend a huge amount of time making a program or inputting instructions. This contemporary form of labor doesn't make you sweat, and it doesn't require manual skill, but computers and video cameras don't eliminate the need for labor, they just change its form. I'm going to concentrate tonight not on this standard level of labor, which is present in all works of art, but on visible labor, especially when it seems to be excessive, and on works of art in which the labor itself is specifically part of the meaning for the viewer and part of the worth of the work for the artist. This includes some outsider art, some therapeutic exercises, some spiritual devotions, some works of craft, and also a lot of mainstream art, straight out of the galleries. Many artists today pour themselves into the labor of making as if that part were the essence. Impediments like lack of money or recognition won't stop such artists because the activity itself is rewarding to them. This has come to my attention because I'm interested in contemporary crafts, ceramics, textiles, jewelry, etc. And excessive labor is one of the accusations sometimes made against crafts, as if that were a flaw. But I observed the same phenomenon in contemporary art, which set me to thinking about what it means. My point of view here is not as a scholar or a physiologist of labor or a psychologist, but as a critic, that is, a person who looks at art carefully and tries to understand it, based on ordinary knowledge and ordinary experience. And from this non-expert point of view, I'll speculate that work is meaningful today precisely because we live in a time and a culture of such extremely developed division of labor and specialization. We are vulnerable to the complexity of our systems. Who really understands how the internet works and where that information that we save is actually? How many of us could fix a car or a telephone or even a bicycle? We go through our days in faith and hope and trust that all these things will work. But many artists, it seems to me, to some degree compensate for our modern disconnectedness by engaging in an understandable process, in a specific physical activity, by applying themselves in concrete terms of strenuous or time-consuming effort. That is shareable because it's visible in the end product. Note that I'm talking here about both actual labor and the viewer's perception of labor.